30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hi, I'm Javicia Leslie from Batwoman in Red Death on the Flash, and you're listening to the Flash Podcast.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Flash Podcast. Your podcast for all. Why do I usually say, "Oh my god," I blanked on my own intro. Your podcast for all video series, the Flash. Sorry, Greg Gustin, Barry Allen, aka the Flash. I'm your host, Andy B, as always, and we're live on YouTube.com/DC Podcast. And I'm joined by my regular crew, first of all, Tatiana and Lacy, in their separate bodies tonight. How you girls doing tonight?
Missing Breeze.
Yes.
I know. I really want her thoughts on the end of this Red Dead
Yeah,
situation.
she's sad that she's moving to the country with Joe and Jenna. So like we just didn't have time. She didn't have time to record it. She's sad, a little under the weather, but we hopefully she will be with us next week. But we are still
Ominous.
ominous indeed. We are still a 4-person team tonight because returning from last episode is our amazing super friend and host of these two podcasts and the Lituation Room, Miss Vanessa Shark. Vanessa, welcome back. Your shirt is popping, representing Team Reverse Flash.
Hello, I'm back. Thanks for having me back again.
Of course.
Yeah, I always gotta rep my boy, and all the team and all the evil speedsters out there. So I'm glad to be here. I've got thoughts.
Yes, we're gonna
Thoughts on thoughts.
there's gonna be thoughts indeed. But before we get to that, we have some brief Flash news. So first of all, I mean, this would have been more fun if Breeze had been here tonight, but we have our season finale date for The Flash. It will be airing on Wednesday, May 24th at 8 Central on the CW. No, we have no idea if it's 2 episodes back to back, if it's just 1 episode. All we know is that you're getting your final episode of The Flash on Wednesday, May 24th. But the better good thing here is that Breeze will not be out of town that week, so we can all be together. So Screen Rant, if you could, do not take Toddy for a junket that week. I would appreciate that.
LOL.
It's fine, but yeah, we have our series finale, and they have now, as of last week, they have wrapped the show. It's over.
Emo tears.
So sets have been destroyed. Actors are moving back home. There
Things
was a
will never be the
report.
same.
Nope.
See you, Canada.
Yep. Yeah, not for all because I know Brandon McKnight. He lives in Toronto, so he's already.
So he will be seeing Canada.
Yeah, he will.
If you're here, you're home.
Exactly. I wanted to play something that I know is going to get all our feels, but it is a shot of Grant doing something for the last time. Not running, that will, I'm sure he will find reasons to run in his life. And hopefully not for dramatic reasons. That's not a good intro. Let me just play this.
I don't usually hang that. That usually goes in my laundry. Doesn't need to be washed now. Thanks, bud.
He didn't get to keep it? Like he didn't get to keep one suit?
Maybe
I bet
they
he
did.
did.
It was a dramatic effect.
Yeah,
I mean, he's out here straight up acknowledging that like he did not wash that and just hung it back up in the closet.
LOL.
Thank you.
Well, how is everyone feeling about I mean, it's over. It's done. We have 8 episodes left. There are no more set photos to be waiting for. There are no more leaks to be waiting for. There are no more, when are they going back to Vancouver to start filming the news? Like, it is done. Someone speak before I start crying.
I don't think it's gonna hit me till the actual show itself is over, because like Flash can't be over. There's still more episodes to go. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
True. Yeah, I haven't, I'm not feeling it yet, but I did get a little, emotional seeing like Candace's stories and stuff. I do think it's good that we are ending like kind of, it feels like on their own terms. You know what I mean? Like it feels like everyone like is okay with moving on, and I'm sure that the season will be wrapped up in a way that does feel complete for the show. So I don't have regrets about it.
Vanessa?
I didn't think I was gonna get emotional at all, and then and then Candace posted her stories with the rings and her like crying and stuff, and I was like, oh no, she got me, gal. So I started thinking about like the early seasons, and I got really nostalgic, and so like now I'm like, oh god, it's ending. Like, so I feel like I'm right there now with like I'm being like, I can't believe it's ending. So I feel like the finale is I'm gonna be even more sad. But yeah, seeing all like the cast members are like home now or leaving, it's just weird that we're not getting anything else. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that it's done, that we were able to go through filming pretty quickly this final season. Like, there wasn't really any pandemic shutdown as far as I know, so that's great. And just again, I wish maybe if they had 2 more episodes this season, something like that, it could have been great. But I'm glad that it's, it seems like everyone is able to walk away from this with a overall genuine pleasurable experience. So yeah, we have 8 more episodes. May 24th is the final one, which means there will be a few hiatus coming up. And so the first one actually is coming up after next week's episode, after episode 6 has aired. But we're not gonna have to wait for long, because they're coming back right on March 29th with Supergirl's Nicole Maines as Dreamer. That's now been revealed. I don't have to keep it a secret anymore what episode she's in, even though. And this is a funny thing, because Toddy knew that when we were asking Eric and February or something, like, what episode is she in, and he still wouldn't say. I'm like, oh man, I should just tell this bro that, like, I know which episode. Just let us say it. But yeah, the synopsis is now up on the flashpodcast.com website, so you can get a little taste of the adventure that she will have with Miss Iris West Allen. And yes, it will be an interlude, whether people want to accept that or not, but it will be an interlude. And then I would say by episode 9 is when we're getting into the fan graphic novel. But before we even can talk about the fan graphic novel, we got to talk about this graphic novel. We got to talk about the end of this graphic novel. So let's get to episode 5 of season 9, called The Mask of Red Death. And it was written by Dan Fisk, with story by Jonathan Butler, and written by, I think, one of Lacy's favorites, Rachel Talalay from Doctor Who.
I do love her.
She is so talented. I love her so much.
So, Lacy, who gets to start? We don't have the right.
Oh no, I did not put people's names next to us.
We're nameless.
Confession time. It is college basketball tournament season, so
yeah, March Madness.
It's time for March Madness, and conference tournaments are happening. And I was busy yelling at the television during the University of Virginia and University of North Carolina basketball game, and the good guys won. Suck at Carolina.
The good guys.
So I did not super pay attention to our document today. I'm sorry. Who would like to talk about Batwoman? You know what? I want the toddy cap of this.
Yeah.
So
oh no.
Kick it to Toddy for.
Can I even? Okay, let's see.
I don't know. This is another one of those episodes where it's like, how do I even decide what is the different stories going on here? So yeah. I just pick things at random.
Well, the A story is Batwoman kicks Red Death's butt. Also, Gorilla Grodd has a piece of Barry Speed somehow. ? And that is an epic title for a epic conclusion to an epic storyline. And in the events of this week's episode, Red Death has begun storming the castle. She's taking over Central City. She's going to stop crime before it happens by terrorizing the citizens and putting fear in their hearts, I guess. And also by having like multiple copies of herself to do crazy things. So who tries to stop her? Kramer, Joe's lover, whom he will be spending time with in the cabin in the woods when Cecile is not there. She does a pretty cool trick, uses her mimic abilities, surprises Red Death for like 52 seconds. New 52. And then Red Death is like, okay, sorry, I have defeated you now. So that was the end of that. Good job, Kramer, you tried. Meanwhile, Barry is like nearing speedlessness. So lots of cosmic treadmill running, I guess, and theorizing on what we can do. And the rogues being like, you know what? We don't want to save Mark because he sucks. And we don't want to fight Red Death because we want to be with our loved ones, which is like my favorite thing about the episode when Pied Piper Hartley, I always forget his name because of the other Hartley, I think. So anyway, when Hartley, yes, Andy Viennes. But yeah, anyway, so Hartley was like, I want to be with the man I love. And I was like, oh, so sweet. And then Goldface was like, I have to go apologize to Amunet. I was like, yes, you do that. Apologize to Amunet before you all die. But anyway, last ditch attempt that is made is to go beg Grodd for speed back. Grodd is very upset because he thought that he and Barry were besties, but then Barry stopped answering his emails. And so now he would rather kill Barry than actually try to help him. But when Barry promises that he's going to text him every day, Grodd is like, okay, fine. I will give you that little spark of speed that I don't even know what it was doing for Grodd. But
I have so many questions about the logic of this. But
so anyway, so now Barry's powered back up, so we get a little bit of red lightning and get a little bit of yellow orange lightning. I can't remember what color lightning Red Death has. Well, Red Death has the red lightning, right? That makes sense because she's Red Death. Okay. Anyway,
you would think.
You know what I mean. There's just colors. There's colors on the screen. People are fighting, but still, Barry is just not kicking enough ass. But then who shows up? Batwoman, who has freed herself from the confines of wherever, by however, with the help of whomever, and has come just in the nick of time to save the day. So she like rips off the mask of Red Death or something. The suit is like in tatters now, maybe. And Red Death is like, no! And then just like flops to the ground, defeated. So good job, everyone. You did it. You did it, kids. And then best part is Ryan is like, oh my God, Iris, I love your blog. I mean Media Empire. Please come to wine and dine with myself and my best friends from National City who are always in Gotham City for some reason. And Iris is like, yeah, I would love to do that. And that was what you missed on Glee. Mm-hmm. So what are our thoughts?
Well, I think Vanessa should start. She's our honorable guest.
She is our honorable guest of honor.
No, you know what? You just made that connection for me. Joe just pulled the like biggest robbery and mind game of all time. Now he can just spend 5 days out of the week with his side piece. his not a wife hangs, only sees it on the weekend. Like, this is amazing. Joe is a genius.
He really is.
I see. The episode was very underwhelming. I didn't like it. It was poorly written. After the first part of part one or whatever, I thought that was amazing. I had a lot of fun watching it, and part two was a letdown in almost every single way besides Batwoman. So that was, so it's fun. Love the Flash.
We love a Ryan. So, Lacy, do you have thoughts on Vanessa's thoughts or your own thoughts separate from Vanessa's thoughts?
I feel like this episode is exactly why we have been saying for weeks that they needed to spend more time on this story. Like, it would have been like if they had spread this over more than 2 episodes plus a couple of shots of Red Death like lurking in dark corners, it would have, I think, had more time for some of this stuff to kind of grow or breathe, or maybe somebody would have been like, hey, how did Ryan get back from wherever she had been disappeared to, that Luke was like, hey, we don't know where our town superhero is. JK, no worries. Maybe we could have dealt with that. I don't know. Also, I sometimes I realize that the show loves to like super lean into the comic booky stuff sometimes, but honestly, the solution is that Barry hit a speed particle in Gorilla Grodd Am I drunk right now? Like, what? That is the dumbest. No, it's not the dumbest. The show has done things that are much dumber, but it is dumb and not. I don't know. I feel like I enjoyed it because I thought Red Death was just very fun, and JVC is clearly like having such a good time doing all of this that it makes it fun to watch. But it's kind of like if you look at it too closely, it doesn't make any sense, and it's like if you think about it too much, it becomes less good.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Andy, would you like to share your feelings?
Because I've rewatched it so many times over the weekend, and then like again, because I always look forward to like when I get to tweet my advanced thoughts or something. But this one I did last week was very challenging because I'm like, there's nothing I can say that's without spoiling stuff. But how but again, it's like I will say that I stick to what I said about when it comes to Red Dead that it's satisfactory. And when I say my definition of satisfactory, I guess in my mind is that it's not the Lacy cover your ears. It's not the force system. She just hit a computer screen.
Like I said, this show has done stuff that is much dumber. Like
Yeah,
so much dumber.
I just know that you don't like the F word. It's all good.
It's
What
very
I'm saying,
traumatizing for me.
yes, when Dion, like, listen, like, because Lacy was all about Dion, and then Dion was like, no, I'm negative Dion, and then snaps Barry away into the Stellar Fort and so on. Then, good lord,
Dion betrayed us.
yeah, but then he came back and he was good. But Lacy was like, nah, I don't know this man. He could be walking down the street.
I would not know a thing. Okay. We don't
I
need
haven't
to
said
talk
I haven't
about how
said that
dumb
in
that storyline is.
yeah, but for me, it's satisfying. I think the action was a lot of fun, because, and I'm sure Lacy can attest to this, because when we were watching the screener version, it was nothing was finished.
No.
Nothing was finished.
The not finished Gorilla Grodd was especially amazing. Like Barry's talking to this sort of like crayon
Gray,
blob. Like it
very
was
crayon.
really like I was like, it's a good thing I know what a gorilla looks like, I guess.
And Rob's mouth never moved when he was talking, or like when he was shouting, he just like or something.
He like
Because
yell with his that didn't bother me because he like yells with his mind anyway. So
that's true. No, but action wise, I think it was a lot of fun. It was great seeing Red Dead versus Flash with the Speed Force batarangs, and apparently Barry making a Captain America shield out of nowhere. I'm like, that seems more of like a Black Lightning thing that could, like, he could create like a shield like that. Barry, like, I don't really see him creating like a shield really ever. Like, he just runs, throws lightning bolts and so on. And now I'm realizing we're not getting Black Lightning on the Flash, which is I want more Jeffrey. Vanessa, I'm so pissed with this network. We didn't deserve season 4 the way it was, and we deserve way more of Jefferson than we did in Armageddon. So
Agreed.
Action wise, I think it was solid. It was fun. The music was great, but I do think the Red Death thing could have spent 1 or 2 more episodes. And again, to go back to my point from last week, if we didn't have to waste episode 2 on on the third Snow Sister, sorry, Lacy, then I feel
you
like
keep apologizing to me for this, but I will just say, as I do every week, I think that storyline is dumb too. So I'm not out here like being like, thank God we got this Keone episode. I'm just like, great, this
I'm
is
just
happening.
afraid to ever cross like the Caitlyn zone or whatever, so I want to piss that will get you off and be like, Andy, you do not go after my girl like that, because in a way it is her but not her. But yeah, I think we could have used 1 or 2 more episodes with Red Death. I wonder if it was because could they only get, because Javisha was in a total of 2 episodes and 1 scene, like 2 episodes 4 and 5, and then she was in at the very end of 3, and that was it. So I wonder if it was more like they couldn't get her for 901, 902. Because the thing is, I mean, because I'm sure you all agree with this. We've done the whole masked evil speedster now so many times. They're like, we don't need it. Like, they could have shown Javisha in episode 1 and be like, what is going on with Ryan? Like, why is Ryan wearing this? And then explain over episodes. But again, I only write about television. I don't make television, so I don't know if there was any complications. I know that Javisha had a great time. Spoke with her this week amidst her very busy schedule. She's rehearsing for a new pilot on ABC, so I love that for her. But yeah, it was this is a step above Godspeed, but it's not like Deathstorm great. It's not Despero great. Um, and but I think again, we had some fun performances from Javicia. It was fun. Again, like genuinely, when this moment happens, like, I almost beg Eric to try and get her back for another episode before the series is over, but it's too late now. But like, yeah, like Javicia just fit into the show so well, and that scene in the end. Sorry, Lisa, we're gonna say something.
I was gonna say, like, I should say one positive that I forgot to say in the middle of all my criticism was it was really nice to feel like in some small way we did get a little closure for Batwoman, like the show,
Yeah.
like a little proper goodbye for that. So that was nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that we know what she's, she's still got a life, she's doing things, and we even got a little glimpse of like what's happening, what else is happening in the Arrowverse, Supergirl and Dreamer and things like that, and we'll obviously get a little bit more of a glimpse. So there were some things in it that was good, or like could have worked, but yeah, overall it was a mess. I did like the running part where like they were fighting, running, and the shield and all that. I forgot about that. That was fun.
Speaking of another Marvel reference, did Red Death seriously Spider-Man way her through the city at one point? Because I saw like an electric like rope or something that she just generate and just swinged over. I'm like, Eric, this is DC, not Marvel, buddy. Like, you've written for DC, you should know what DC is. I'm kidding, but it was when I'm like Captain America shield, Spider-Man web. Red Death could be an allegory for Iron Man's suit. Who knows? But yeah, overall, like it's not the best storyline of the show, but I think we've had far worse. Because again, we all remember the time sickness, the F word, and again, and I'm glad we actually, at least they tried to make Red Death happen on the show, and I think they did a pretty decent job. And again, to quote Toddy, at least Javisha got a paycheck. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huzzah.
True words.
What did you think, Toddy?
At least Javisha got a paycheck, and I hope she got double the paycheck. But no, I mean, I definitely think that this episode was a letdown after last episode. Like, I was prepared for it to be just like, okay, well, the storyline's going to be a bit of a flop because they didn't really build up Red Death properly. But then last week's episode was like really fun, and I really enjoyed the backstory they gave her. So I was hoping for a more epic battle, and she really went out, like a chump, not like a champ. And there were some moments with like her fight that just seemed like really silly. Like when she like did that little like, I don't know, rampage, tantrum thing. I was like, why did they have her do that? Why does she seem like, I don't know. It just was very like you take off the filter, it's like Bane, but then when you take off the Bane filter or the Bane voice, suddenly you're actually like, Donald Duck. I was like, what is happening? Not that she sounds like Donald Duck, but that's
what a comparison.
I'm saying that's the difference between the like why would they have the voice be so different? So anyway, aside from that, the Grodd thing also felt like a little, like I liked seeing Grodd, and I thought that it was like a fun callback, but it also just seemed unnecessary. Like I don't think like Grodd's storyline was done. I don't think we needed a "why didn't you call me back" tag to that story. I definitely would have preferred seeing a different villain helper, if you will. And if not, then just work with the rogues, like more of the rogues working with Barry in order to make things happen. Overall, kind of a letdown, but the end with Batwoman / Ryan saved it, right? I'm glad we got that, even though, again, I would have rathered us spend time rescuing the real Ryan, finding out where she was, than going to kick Grodd.
They never said that, right? She's just like back from wherever.
Right.
Okay, just checking. I was like, did I miss this? Because sometimes I will admit to not paying attention, but she just appeared. So I
Well,
hope
I
she
was
had a
thi-
good vacay.
I mean, I'm hoping that maybe there were deleted scenes. That, again, they shouldn't have been deleted because I think there's other things we could have taken out from this episode. But I'm hoping that there was something because I know Todd, didn't you ask Eric something about WoW more specifically?
Yeah, and he said that there was a scene between Iris and Ryan that people were really in love, and I'm sure it was the scene of Ryan asking her to come have mimosas with the girls. That's what I would imagine. Unless it was,
Yeah.
the scene of Red Death stalking Iris to her home. Also possible.
I would say when it comes to the Grodd thing, like I know everyone was kind of like, feeling whatever about it. For me, I'm like, I don't mind it because like if we can believe all these other science fictional things in this universe, I can buy the idea that a part of Barry's speed was left inside Grodd somehow. Again, if we can accept, okay, y'all, it's a telepathic gorilla talking. We have seen giant mutated sharks walking around talking with pants that somehow fits them. We've seen how many speedsters, we've seen how many humans. So like for me, like I can buy it, but I wish like because it
Wait,
was 3 years ago, it's a long time ago. I wish like if they had said, oh, Grodd, they should have mentioned it in season 7 when the Speed Force disappeared. Of like, what if we go to Grodd? So I don't mind it, but I wish there had been like, don't make us wait 3 seasons for that type of plot point. Like, you should have given us something way before. Because I honestly thought also like we're done with Grodd because we can't afford Grodd. Sorry, Vanessa. What were you gonna say?
No, you're fine. I think it's funny because you like left a spark in Grodd. And that's why Grodd had like speed, which is like it's comic canon, but like they usually when speedsters leave their spark in someone, it's a different process.
Grodd became his Barry's
Oh
second
no,
lightning rod.
no.
Just no, I'm not insinuating that happened.
Wait. What does Lacy think Vanessa means?
Everybody knows what I think Vanessa means. I'm just hoping that's not what Vanessa means. Please say no. Every time you're on the show, you're like, here's a horrifying comics truth for you.
She didn't say what was horrific. Lacy, you're being over dramatic. Look at this and calm down.
Oh my god.
Oh, too bad both of them are dead.
Oh
my god.
Anyway.
Sorry, Lacy. I'm sorry. No, but you know what? Here's the thing.
Wow.
It's not like again. It's again. I always love David Zaslav when he comes on the show, and again, it was because it was funny because like when that shot remember in the first season 9 trailer when they showed like that Barry was looking up at something, he was in a woods, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, he's with Oliver Queen because #Green Forest." I went and asked someone like, "Hey, that's not Oliver that he's talking to." Like they're like, "No, that's Grodd." I'm like, "When is this happening?" Like several episodes from now. I'm like, "Oh, so you're making us wait for this?" But I was like, I love that everyone was like, "Green Forest must equal Oliver Queen." But yeah, I wish they kind of just mentioned Grodd and the little spark seasons ago. Like it's been because it's been over 3 years. So that's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna miss Felicia in this franchise. She's amazing as Batwoman. She was fun as Ryan as Red Death. I hope I even asked her like, would you want to come back in James Gunn's DC universe as Batwoman or as someone else? She's like, I'm game. I'm like, yeah, good. James needs to just listen the f up. Oh my god, could you imagine like like the DCU's version of Ryan Wilder on Waller, on the Waller show? That would Javish and Vale Davis. I'm just saying that would be a good combo. I guess I can talk about this is the B story, Lacy. Okay, it's fine.
I don't know. You tell me. You can pick a better one if you don't like that one. I just feel like we have to talk about it. Give you power.
They can.
Ah! I mean, my favorite part of this is that like it's just
wait. Let me handicap.
Sorry, handicap.
So Joe is going bye because somehow I've never. Tommy said it the best last night. I've never seen a woman get so excited to have a distant relationship. But Cecile, you do you. But Joe decides to, you know what? Even though I said last week we're not moving, me and Jenna are moving.
You're
Uh,
not moving.
and Cecile and Breeze unanimously went, "What? You can't take Jenna?" But that's what Breeze said. However, Cecile was like, "Yeah, I get to be a superhero Monday to Friday, and then come over the weekends." You all know that driving out in the country is like it's not like that basic, but okay. So they decide to have a good farewell
The
party.
country is actually what he has named their new home, and it is 15 minutes away.
How convenient. So what happens is they all have a party, saying goodbye to everyone and so on. And Allegra and Chester decide again to finally now have the talk. Not the talk, but like the talk about the thing that happened a couple weeks ago. I sure was hoping that these people in their age would have had a talk already. But they finally accept that Shalegra is real, it's canon, and they make out and they leave the entire room shook up. Barry going, when did this happen? And Iris just casually going, oh, I can't believe it didn't happen sooner. So apparently they have already known. She's already known what we also already knew, but that these two didn't know. And now Shalegra has moved forward. And then because they decide to just keep making out while everyone's celebrating their party in front of them. Thoughts, Vanessa?
Co-signed.
I'm sorry to everyone that can't see this. It's
Can you skip me? I'll come back to me.
Okay. I think what Vanessa's trying to say is I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
I'll go
okay.
because I sort of like
Okay.
them. I do think they're cute. Like I'm excited to learn that Chester is apparently like Central City's best kisser. Surprise! It's always the quiet ones, girls. And the best part of the story was it's just last week's story, but completely reversed. Because like last week, it's like, oh no, everyone might die. We should get together. No, we should not get together because everyone might die. We should deal with it later. And this week, it's like everyone might die. We should get together. And they're like, okay, let's make out. It was just, I don't know. I think they're very adorable together, and I'm fine with them being together. I just cannot believe that we needed 5 episodes this season of them like going back and forth about it. But get it, Chester. That's what I'm saying.
Wow, Lacy, wow. Uh, why is this episode so how'd it go?
I'm also co-signing what Lacy said. I mean, like I in theory have no problem with Chester and Allegra, and I said repeatedly on multiple podcasts that back when they were just besties playing D&D, I was like, yes, I am ready. Get them together. It's so cute. And now that it's happening, I'm like, could you have done this any lamer? So like
it feels like that was like 2 seasons ago that they were playing D&D too. It was like so long.
Right. So like I get like you want to do a slow burn, right? But the way that they've done a slow burn is just to repeat the same story beat like 6 times. And that's not getting us anywhere. It would have been much more interesting to see a real conversation between them about why Allegra keeps doing what she has been doing in order to push Chester away and to have her move forward with the insecurities or with the childhood trauma that is causing her to treat him like he's disposable. But instead, she's like, you know what? Your lips taste so good. I'm just going to have to do it again. I don't know. I guess I've decided that is more important to me than my issues. And then Chester was like, I have no other plot line. So yes, let's do it. So yeah, I was not. I'm not a fan of how it was written, and I really think like I know some people are like, oh no, like they don't like have chemistry or like whatever, but I really don't think it's their fault. I think that you could put any 2 actors in that storyline and it would be flat. Like if Grand Candace, like you went back in time and you wrote West Allen like this in the first 2 seasons, no one would be shipping West Allen. No. So yeah, that is that on that. But it was funny that Barry did not realize that this was going on, even though I'm pretty sure he was privy to it to whatever degree in Armageddon. So I guess he just thought that would only happen in that crazy alternate world where West Wales is real. So clearly it's not something I need to worry about. Yeah, he cannot read the room, and that is fine.
Yeah.
Are you ready, Vanessa?
Yeah, I feel like I was watching, like if they were like, this is a plot line on a Disney Channel original about two 13-year-olds living in Beach Bay, Minnesota, Maryland, and it's their last summer together and they just got to figure it out and they can't communicate and talk. Like, that would be a cute story, but they're two grown-ass adults. I didn't even know this is how bad this slow burn was. I thought they were together already by the time I started the season. They had been touch and go and stop and go for so long, and I thought that they already were together. So I was like, so when I realized that they weren't together and they were still trying to get to that point, I checked out. I was like, all right, I'm done. I can't. Hopefully this is the end. Hopefully we never see them again after this. That's it. The story's done. Thank you.
There's 8 more episodes. There's 8 more episodes. We ain't done. No,
for those two. I just never want to see them again.
Okay, fair enough.
Hi, Brandon. Love him. He's great, but
yeah, they are cute in theory, but their timing is always so questionable. It's like, first of all, yes, okay, fine. If you didn't want to leave the house, you didn't have to leave the house. But who goes out to the hallway where there's no door, and then like, and then they just turn around, and suddenly they're like, "But this is normal having an audience," and then they keep kissing. Then I'm like, y'all. That's why I'm like, y'all. Joe is moving. There's a room upstairs. Go. And like, don't do it. It just doesn't feel real to like. Oh, you caught us. I keep going. I cannot understand that. So, I did. The only thing that was a plus for me in that was just Barry and Iris' reaction, because Barry, he stands like this has been happening underneath my roof. Well, like, not my roof, my Joe's roof, but underneath my roof in Star Lab. This has been happening this whole time, and Iris like, I saw it coming. Should have happened sooner, but yeah. Now that they have actually finally accepted it, I'm just like, okay, just be together. We don't like no more awkwardness. Like, yeah, have your first date, whatever, and so on. But it's like, I need the show to also remember these are supporting characters. Support the show. Don't lead it. Because yes, I will agree with a lot. We're about to get into it very soon, but I agree that it is very weird that, and we didn't even talk about this. Like, Lacy, this would have been a perfect plot point for you. This wasn't the only kissing we had in the episode. We also had Keon can now kiss people.
Oh no, I was saving it for Keon Corner. I'm gonna do the third one. Keon Corner's happening.
Okay.
Keon Corner's coming in just a second.
Yeah, but no.
West Allen's pregnant could just be Keon Corner, because that was
Keon's entire subplot except random. Anyway, finish your thought. We will go to Keon Corner.
Yeah. I'm just like, I agree with Vanessa. Like, it's very Disney Channel like, and it's like, these are great actors. They are, and these are, they're good characters, for the most time. But it's like, this has been so repetitive. So I'm like, okay, now this needs to be the end of it. We have 8 episodes left. We can't keep wasting any more of this. So, okay, Keon Corner, but I don't have an overlay, sadly. I have this.
I know. It has to be Keon Corner with a K, too. So it's like totally cheesy. Okay, so Keon does literally nothing this week except for 2 important things. One of which is somehow, I guess, resurrect Mark Blaine or heal him with the magic power of her as still undetermined powers after kissing him in the hospital room. I don't know. Please stop. And secondly, at Joe's I was not moving, but now I am moving party, Keon just suddenly decides to tell everyone that Iris is pregnant. And I have no idea how Keon knew that at all. Like, I guess she's just, I don't know, maybe she's like a life goddess or something and can tell these things. But I will tell you that this is certainly the thing that we received the most feedback on from listeners. And I am excited for everyone's thoughts on this because it is exciting West Allen is Preggers news, but also why do they hate Keon at the end? Vanessa, please hit me with your thoughts.
I'm gonna gift that.
Oh my goodness.
Guys, are you fucking kidding me?
It's okay.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No, but seriously, I'm okay. Listen, I just gave birth like 3 months ago. Literally, my daughter turned 3 months yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Woo! I found out I was pregnant April last year, first weekend of April. Me and my husband been trying for a couple months at that point. So when I found out, it was like a very special moment, very private. I ended up calling my husband. He was at a bachelor party in New Orleans, and I called him, told him, we're excited, happy. Very cool moment between me and him. So the fact that Iris didn't get to have that with Barry, and someone not only told her thing, something that's happening in her body, didn't even pull her aside to tell her, didn't just blurted it out loud. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this couple has been through so much. Interrupted weddings, like 64 interrupted weddings, kidnappings, jumping off buildings, stabbings, deaths, futures without each other. Like, we couldn't get something normal for them, like this normal thing, like a pregnancy test, her going to see a song. Like, what does it have to include a team every time? Every time? Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
Well, dang.
You go for it, Toddy. I will say.
And here I thought I was being enlightened when I was like, I don't even have a problem with it. But now I have so many problems with it because of Vanessa's story. But anyway, like for me, I was just coming from like.
Wait. Mind the Gap has a question for you, Vanessa.
Nobody told you you were pregnant.
The pea stick told me.
The pea stick, exactly. And that's literally what I was going to say.
Brother
I was going to say, like, did any Brother Nate, Mama Shark throw spit on the fabulous Clement Brian chair slide?
Okay, wait. Clement didn't slide. Clement fell over in his
he's
chair.
done slides before.
Okay.
Let him slide. Let him have his slide. Gosh.
I don't mind it.
Okay, so from my perspective, it was, I can't even trust this show to have Iris on screen in the episode, in an episode about her pregnancy, because the last time when she had the time sickness and Barry thought she was pregnant, she wasn't even there. So I was like, well, this is a step up. Wow, Iris gets to be on screen and react to her own pregnancy. That's so great. Yes, exactly that face. And also, Keone accidentally blurting it out because it just seems so obvious to her was so many times better than Cecile being like, oh, I feel the pee in your body, and that pee feels like it might come out with 2 lines instead of 1. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll take it. I will take it.
The pee in your body.
So you know, whatever. But I totally respect and understand where you're coming from, Vanessa, and I feel like if I had the investment still, I would be so mad. But at this point, I'm like, bare minimum things. cleared the bar.
Right. Hashtag bare minimum. Yeah. At least it wasn't Cecile.
Yeah, that was like I had fans. That's the thing, because fans were like, there was one fan I was tweeting at, Nora, who was asking me like, "You blink, don't blink if Cecile doesn't do something that you can't talk about." So I sent her a video of like, I think I still have it here somewhere. I went like, "I don't know what you're talking about," and then slammed it on the table and just stared into the camera. And then she was like, "Oh my god, thank God!" But I'm like, she didn't ask about other characters, so like technically I haven't done anything wrong. But the more I kept watching it, and the more fans started figuring it out on their own, I'm like, oh, Wednesday's not going to be fun. And the thing is, I absolutely freaking get it. I am, for the final season, again, we've spent episodes focusing on Josiel's nonsense. We spent time on Shalegra's Disney Plus drama. We spent time on a third Snow sister that, sadly is the one that's, the root of this problem in this episode. Because, again, she's only a few weeks old, so manners are just like nothing she knows of. And let the girl just pee on a stick with her husband and just go and find it on their own, and then they could have gone told everyone.
Very water sports of you.
You just excuse me, miss. I feel the pee in your body. Like you started
I
talking.
didn't say pee with your husband.
Oh my god, that's not what I meant. Like she would pee on the stick and then go show Bear. Like we're positive. We have a baby
Flash is
coming.
into display. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. What
I
would
need to make
say-
myself feel better. Okay.
Well, no, let's Cecile tell you how you feel. But I know. But so this is so. I'm like, because someone had done a thread of all the times they've been interrupted. Like their first day was interrupted, their 2 weddings were interrupted. The only thing they've had that has been peaceful is their freaking WoW renewal.
Yeah.
Now, I'm happy they're at least pregnant because it's been for months. People have been going like, she's not gonna get pregnant until the series finale. We're not even gonna see it. And I'm just like, oh guys, just wait till 9:05. Just wait till 9:05. It's gonna be fine. I didn't know that Keone was gonna be like, because you're pregnant, because I can feel life inside. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey. Like it's like, sorry, let's go.
No, I don't. I'm just imagining how different the season would be already if they hadn't just. I cannot believe I'm saying that I wish we had Caitlin Snow back. Like,
welcome.
Because this would not have happened if we had Caitlin Snow.
And you know what? I just realized something. Iris could have gone to Caitlin with Barry, and she could have examined it and be like, I have the test results. You guys can read it. I'm going to leave, go play with Mark or something. And then they still have that private moment. Like it would have made that would have actually given them a reason to have them, have a scene.
Yeah, this was an excuse to show off Keone's like powers, reveal her powers. And it's like Barry and Iris are just like a prop in their own huge moment. Barry is literally the lead of the show. He is the Flash. How is his big moment of having like his first child a footnote in someone else's story? I do not understand. I don't understand.
And that's why I feel that this show should have probably moved on from Team Flash 3 seasons ago. Or preferably at least for this final season. Like, there are too many characters on the show. I get it. Grant and Candace, they can't be in every scene of every episode. I know they're only contracted for a certain amount of days because because let me shatter everyone's like imagination. No, these 2 leads, they don't shoot 8 out of 8 days. The further you get into a show, you get more advantage as a lead, and you can negotiate for like, I only want to film like 4, 5, 6 days out of the week or something like that. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. There's a silver line. They're pregnant. She's coming. So I'm hoping everything from here would just go up. I know to a degree that it goes up, but it will be a while. And I just cannot believe it for this moment. It's like WoW renewal versus 7 other times they've been interrupted. And I'm disappointed in the show for doing this. Like it is beyond. Like again, I don't understand why all of them have to be there together all the time. Like,
it's not and like it never was supposed to be an ensemble show. I just don't understand.
You know what I would have even taken Bear and Iris being surrounded by 60 Harrison Wellses than having Keone be like, oh my goodness, you have life inside of you. You're glowing. Oh, you didn't know that? So yeah, Lacy, if your homegirl hadn't gone all psychotic Frankenstein last season, we wouldn't be here.
Well, if Barry hadn't ruined her mad scientist lab, we might not be here.
If she hadn't taken the mirror gun and lied to the entire team and her own mother what she was doing, trying to resurrect her sister, like it's like we just dealt with Deathstorm.
Anyway,
like, hey,
my thoughts on this as the Keone defender who is here. I'm just like, let me tell you, this doesn't make anybody happy. There's nobody out here who likes Kate. Well, there's nobody there. I don't know that there are Keone stans. Keone is fine. Like Caitlyn fans are not out here being like, thank God she like stepped on this moment and her third sister in her body. No one thinks this. Like,
no, they can go add it to their
stupid.
crack
And
ship,
also, for whatever reason, for whatever reason, it's like, oh, we're to use this to reveal her powers. Well, they didn't actually reveal her powers. I still have no idea what her powers even are. Like, maybe she's God. I don't know. Like, because they haven't said anything. Who can say? Like, what was the point? I don't even know what the point of this was,
You know what this reminds me of?
other than to just be irritating.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, again, when the double wedding happened, the following week on Arrow, Oliver Felicity got a wedding reception either way, which means that just like with that storyline, Keon's whole power discovery could have been saved from next week because that's what they're going to be focusing on.
Absolutely. Also, I want to point out Liv's comment about the fact that Iris didn't even get a goodbye, scene with Joe. Like, Joe never even told his daughter that he was planning on.
Well, I think we can all just check the box that Joe is the worst. Like, Joe is a terrible family person. He's like, I will definitely take this child into the forest away from its mom and be like, peace. I'll see you on the weekend.
Exactly.
I guess,
because I want to be a better father to her than I was to my other kids, whom I never speak to.
Wait, someone said something earlier. Hold on, this one. I found it funny.
Yes! Speaking of family, I'm moving.
Joe shit is so strong.
That's like the most accurate comment, though. It's like, peace.
Electra goes, remember the do you have a daughter Joe trend?
Oh,
Toddy actually had to explain that one to me a couple of years ago. I'm like, what is this? And she's like, well, Andy, it's like Joe acts as if he doesn't have a daughter.
Exactly. So sometimes you have to remind him.
Oh,
he's the one he's running off to the compound with.
It's like, this is what we wanted. This is what we got.
Yeah. No, Joe is like, I finally have a daughter that I always wanted. Like, okay.
A pregnant daughter.
Oh no, that's so sad.
They got a hug at least. But it's like, again, I will say that, and to Joe's, to be pro Joe for a second, like he and Barry did have a really good scene, but again, like I try to remember, have Candace and Jesse even worked this season besides looking at each other once?
While we're talking about the way this season is paced, what the hell? Like, what was the point of Cecile? We're going to move away from Central City. Oh, JK, we're not going to move away from Central City. JK, double time. I am definitely moving away from Central City, but not with you. Like, what was the point of that?
And when Toddy went, I've never seen someone so excited for a long distance relationship. I'm like, yeah, that is like, why? Okay.
It's because she felt it too. She's like, oh, this man is leaving me. This is it. The end of the relationship. And then he was like, no, I'll see you on the weekend. So she's like, oh, thank God.
This is what I will say is that
that is not modeling good behavior for Jenna is all I'm saying.
No.
Don't take that, Jenna.
Yeah. For me, this is the thing. I know what they're doing with Cecile. We all know what they're doing with Cecile. It's annoying, and like it's like, yeah, let her do her little costume thing, and it's like she doesn't even go to her law practice anymore. Like last week when she was like, I have a law practice, I'm like, no, you don't. So it's like she should have left with Joe. Yeah. We need to trim down the cast for at least few episodes, and also not even Arrow had a parent figure around in their final season. The Flash doesn't need that. So, again, I don't want anyone to get fired or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but it's like, supporting characters need to support. So I'm hoping next week there is something where, like, at least, Barry and Iris goes to confirm the pregnancy and something. But yeah, I understand to all the fans out that are pissed off, furious, and upset. Again, don't have to attack anyone. That's never the solution. But your anger and criticism is so 100% valid. Because, the only good takeaway is just that, for anyone who's still thinking that Snowberry is going to happen, I don't think it is anymore because now he's having, Barry's having a daughter, having a baby with his wife.
Is anyone thinking that? Does anyone?
There's the crack ships are still everywhere, all over the place, so it happens.
You know what? I guess that one person somewhere out there is like, when Barry says Keon, it sounds like Caitlin. Because Snowberry lives.
Lisa, are you mad because we made fun of Snowberry?
Why would Lacy? Why are you trying
No,
to make
because
Lacy
every time I said something about
Why
Snowberry,
does
he's like, "This is why
this
this is
come
why
back
fan
to
fiction."
this comes back to me and Snowberry. I will once again put a stake in the ground to say I was a Savitar and Killer Frost shipper.
That would have been
Murder,
cool,
we
actually.
love it.
Yeah, I was
Right?
a
That
Killer
would
Frost
be
the
so
first Flash
hot.
shipper.
Sorry, Vanessa.
Ooh, also I
I
would
was
be
a
into
Killer
that.
Frost the first
Yes.
Flash shipper back in the Disney.
Oh.
That was
I
my
approve of
fave.
that as well.
What was your fave?
Reverse Flash Killer Shark. What? Killer Shark?
Oh
Killer
my god, that would be
Killer
amazing. Killer Shark and Reverse Flash?
Fusion of King
Let's
Shark and
go.
Killer Frost, yes.
King Shark with like ice powers. I don't know.
There you go. There you go.
Cool.
Is there any of us we want to talk about this episode, or like, do we want to just get to feedback?
We probably
There's
should get
kind of
to
a lot of
yeah.
feedback.
Oh,
There's
Yeah,
some of it. You could all guess what the feedback has to do with.
And we absolutely understand. Like we've always said on the Flash podcast that we want to hear from you. And again, I think most of you were actually pretty like again upset, but you did it respectfully. Not saying hang this person or something, because we shouldn't do that
Because that would be a felony. Not
and
really,
and,
but
and Cecile could not defend you, because she would probably think there's a way to get out of it. I don't know. She's a
all right.
lawyer, my
I'm gonna
ass.
start with some tweets. Buckle up. At Bridgerton Girl says the story was all over the place this whole arc, and I kept expecting it to get good, but it never did. The D Rogues, Red Death, messy storyline, Grodd, 5 question marks, and so on. Plus, to add insult to injury, you get a 5 years waited reveal done as a prop to some random's powers in a 30-second scene that ends with Iris not being properly congratulated, even with her being the pregnant one. It is insulting to have it done that way and give Cringe-Allegra, that's kind of terrible but amazing, a second revolving kiss, everyone but the leads, plus randomly shoving in Batwoman at the end. I am done. At this point, I have to believe this is personal against West Allen, and more specifically Iris. In 715, she got written off her pregnancy scare arc and replaced with Cecile. Now she gets 30 seconds of scenes of someone else spoiling it, and she isn't even the focus. It's deranged. At Super Ollie 74 says, I love this episode. I love seeing Grodd. Yes, we saw Batwoman for a moment. I would like to see her more, of course. Yes, people need to remember it's a short and last season. We won't get everything we would like to see. I am happy that Iris and Barry are going to be parents. I just want to know how Keon knows, other than the fact that Iris wasn't feeling well. Bye, Joe. We will miss you. At Love Quest says horrible. At I like the succinctness. I appreciate that. At Codeman 43447853 says they shouldn't have brought back the real Ryan, but the fighting was fun. It needed more. At LCVE Iris says horrible, ruined my mental health.
Oh
no. It's gonna be okay. At Abby Burrows 6705 said need more West Allen scenes.
Yep.
True.
Then we have some Facebook and Instagram comments from John Patrick Van Pelt. Says, hey, everyone at the Flash Podcast. OMG and congratulations to Barry Allen and Iris was Allen getting pregnant. I hope this means by the time we reach the series now, we can see either what baby Nora or Bart looks like as babies. I also feel that Barry Allen was confused when Joe said that he, Cecile, and Baby Jenna were moving out to Central City. Yeah, because Joe just casually mentioned, yeah, we were thinking of moving. I did find it really awesome seeing a guest appearance by Batwoman, Gorilla Grodd, and the Rogue Villains helping out to take down Red Death. And quick question, what do you think the chances are we will see Jessica Parker and Jordan Fisher before the series ends? And that's all I have to say about the Mask of Red Death Part 2 storyline. Well, Jessica Parker is confirmed to come back. If you're hoping to see her in some of the final episodes, I think chances are good. Jordan Fisher is a busy man. I genuinely do not know if he's filmed anything. If we, at this point,
He's recording songs for Turning Red too.
the president of the Jordan Fisher fan club just said. I had no idea he was doing that. So
I'm kidding. He's not. I don't know if that's turning red too. I'm just saying that's what he should be doing.
yeah, as far as I know,
Get back in the studio.
as far as I know, he wasn't in Vancouver for the finale. So unless he has a voice cameo or something, I don't know if Bart is going to be there by the end. Um, from my good friends at Candy Canes, you said our thoughts to the Flash podcast. One, love Javida's double duty as Red Dad plus Batwoman. Number two, it was uber disrespectful and rude to have West Allen pregnancy announcement spoiled like that. It removed a black woman's agency again. Three, now we're scared of how Iris' pregnancy and delivery have been written.
I would say take the fear away. Just let the bad things come. There's just no reason to think about it. Put the expectations on the floor.
Adnan Lindsay 08 says, love the battle on the Flash part, but I kind of dislike the end since it was a short-lived moment. It felt rushed. I felt like if they were going to announce Iron's pregnancy, it should have been an intimate moment between her and Barry, and then they could announce it to the others. But then Keone announces it. I feel like they should have found out on their own. Agreed. At my Insta account, 22 says, love the battle in the Flash part, but I kind of dislike the end since... Oh, this is the same tweet. Never mind. At Flash Maniac 52, I think I'm extremely worried in how they're going to end the show. At Poker Sharp 87, a decent episode. I think we all saw the Mark twist coming. Twist in quotation mark. Like, did anyone actually think he was dead? Like, even if you had not seen said photos, did anyone think he was actually dead? Like, the final fight felt lacking. There were 13 lightning tosses, and the solution the whole time was just to take the suit off. Why didn't Barry do that instantly if he was way faster? At Andy Burrock 05 says, did not do West Allen any justice.
Craig!
Is Craig here? This is Baby Jenna. Why doesn't my mommy love me? I don't know. Don't know, Baby Jenna. Really? Not even going to read it out loud. At arrow_OT_Elicity says, well, it was watchable. At least those annoying blue filter flashbacks really destroy any goodwill an episode has. That rogue joke at the end, I know Eric thinks it's a kid's show, but he doesn't need to go all after school special with that scene. But not the worst episode, and Javicia was great as always. At X Frost BSX says, I'm really excited for Keone's plot and her powers. That was a bit surprising what she did to Mark. Yeah. Kissing people back to life. Cool. And Joey Flash says, I love the episode so much. Iris' pregnancy was amazing. And everyone's reaction to when she has done it like a kissed heart emoji. I would have said, go get a room. And Jack_Ulian says, very cool. Love that Batman made an appearance. Awesome episode. Daniel Medina 218 says, why did they ruin the Red Death character? It's so sad to see how they ruined the last season of The Flash. And then we have a lot of emails. How do you want us to tag team on it?
I can start with emails, yeah, and then you can take it. Let me see where we go. Mm-hmm. We're starting with Liv, my bestie. The good news: Jenna's Ivy Park collab was finalized while at Paris Fashion Week. Unfortunately, she had to leave directly after the Louis Vuitton show to host her yearly girl boss retreat at her sprawling countryside estate, which Joe attended for the self-help sessions to rethink with his post-retirement move idea. Little Bit helped him find resolve in his future, as well as leased him one of her farmhouse-style cabins and granted Cecile timeshare rights. There are rumors that she will be a guest in an upcoming episode of Vogue's 73 Questions, which would be hosted at the same estate to provide viewers with a tour, though her PR team has not yet responded to the request. Fingers crossed she is indeed in the lineup. I'm convinced the writers be bookmarking our tweets to either use or troll because, let me circle back to that. Okay. So I am partially satisfied with Red Death's ending, mostly because I got she's a runner, she's a track star battle. The use of lightning during the fight were some of the coolest and most creative effects the show has done, especially Barry's Spartan Shield and Red Death's Tarzan Swing. I totally forgot to mention those, but yes, I also love those. I was going to call it Red Death's Truth Lasso, but Tarzan Swing is better. I almost forgive them for withholding a fight for so long. Almost. I still maintain that we could have gotten more action as lead up, and I wouldn't have taken anything away from the final confrontation. I think maybe that's the part I struggle with in terms of opinion on how they execute these villain storylines. I don't believe you have to give nothing for 80% of the storyline for the climax to be awesome or an OMG moment. It doesn't have to be one or the other. We can have both. Yes, we have two hands. I agree. Especially with shorter arcs where we have reduced time anyway. It's like they overcompensate for previous complaints of these 20 plus episode arcs dragging out, or all the fights ending the same way until the end. But if we have shorter arcs, you don't have to jump to the other extreme. But I digress. I figured Orion would show up near the end, though the spectacle of the speedster fight did a good job at distracting me just enough to forget to expect her. So when she appeared from the smoke, it still felt like a surprise treat. The Ryan versus Ryan choreography was good, but they could have easily fell back into that nanites from Ray Palmer joke, and I'm glad they didn't. Not gonna hold you. When Grodd first showed up, my first reaction really was, I know y'all not dead ass. But then I was like, hey, we're here for the ride for the last season, and Grodd is a fan favorite. So for that alone, I was happy for those who love him, even if it felt like he came out of left field for this story. Because trust, I get the explanation that Evil Ryan gave about what he was doing for her, and I'm assuming that they were implying with her surprise telepathy. I'm assuming that what they were implying with her surprise telepathy, why can I not read, was that that's how she knew how to stop crime before it happened. Oh my God, your mind is a mastermind. I definitely did not get that. But they definitely just dropped it in there without explaining where the power came from, unlike her speed from the suit, unless I missed the line. Also, they made poor Grodd so damn petty. He said he'd been trying to find and repower his people, but why he blamed Barry? Like, Barry ain't said they were allies now, and Grodd isn't, as the show proclaims, the most powerful telepath in the world. Like, he couldn't come to Barry earlier for help if needed. He kidnapped Barry and invaded his mind to go get help in season 1, but now that they're actually on good terms, he just said, okay, you don't give a fuck. You don't know how to come back for me, so fuck you, LMAO. How does that equate to Barry gave a failed lesson on heroism? But if this is the avenue they use to give Barry his speed back by using a callback to Grodd's last appearance, then I'm just going to finish with, at least it was more creative than usual. True. I'm not spending any more time than is forced on me for Challergy medicine.
Oh.
So there was that, the end. Now back to the writers subtweeting us via character dialogue. First of all, Trinidad James writers evidently been on Twitter and in some Discord servers because there's no way they came up with those nicknames for lukewarm themselves. And wannabe grandmother Willow, don't come outside because we will jump you. We're knocking and bucking and ready to fight. The first thing getting to up is those Dollar Tree clip-ins. It's like the writers saw everyone praying that's a seal minor business, and like evil geniuses said, here's your wish, but worse. Then earlier, she's sleeping beautified frostbite Fabio. Like, ma'am, that's not your man. I already see where this is going to go. Inadequate Ice Cube is about to get so excited by the prospect of her having powers and become one of those criminal mind unsubs that he uses as victims as targets for his dead wife. I was just beginning to accept his redemption arc. Exactly. You know what? I'm taking my West Allen pregnancy, Usain lightning bolt fight, West Wilder virgin mimosas, and Iris's addition to the Hero Ladies group chat as wins, and sipping my wine till next week. And none for the Greenpeace guru. Bye.
Wow. Teach the nickname.
Woo! All right. Now we've got
Wow.
Mads. Mads says, well, that sure was an episode. My first question, at what point do we think Cecile will stop leveling up? How much leveling up is too much leveling up? Because really, as much as I love to see her developing new powers every week in her journey to become the hero that Central City has apparently been missing, it would be super great if that wasn't also served with the side of Barry making friends with the floor. On the other hand, it was very kind of Joe to fulfill Cecile's dream of only being a mother on the weekends. And I'm glad future Auntie Jenna was upstairs asleep at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, so she didn't have to witness
It was
the
4
greatest hits
p.m.?
of Allegra's life. I mean, it was the middle of the day. Like, they were just clearly, it was bright outside. They're like, oh no, Allegra's like, Jenna's asleep. Like, okay. In other news, Fiona has magical pregnancy detecting powers and Disney princess kissing powers, both of which I'm sure will come in handy somehow. I'm glad she could also be the one to deliver the news that West Allen is pregnant, because that's definitely how we all wanted it to go. And they're definitely just going to take her word for it, right? In all seriousness, this was honestly a bit of a letdown after it started so promising last week. It was a bit all over the place, and the storyline honestly was confusing for me. I don't really get why Grodd needed to be involved. I did think the Flash versus Red Death fight was pretty cool, though. I also loved getting to see our Ryan and Iris interact. Wish it could have been longer than 30 seconds, but it was still a cute little moment. And I love that Ryan is a fan of Iris's work. I will need visual proof of that lady's brunch, though. Obviously, I'm thrilled that West Allen is pregnant, but I wish their milestone moments weren't being constantly interfered with by third parties. It also kind of feels like this was done as a way to give Keon powers instead of just being a nice moment for West Allen. But I digress. All in all, the episode left much to be desired, but I'm choosing to focus on the fact that our girl is pregnant. Very, very thrilled that it's happening before the series finale and that we will hopefully get to see that play into some of the upcoming storylines. Until next week, Mads. Electra is next. Hey, Flash Podcast team, how are you? Here are my thoughts on this week's episode. Mark's still alive? Inconceivable! If Barry leveled up so much last season, how come it's still so easy for him to lose his speed?
The name from network
A
television.
fair question.
Have they ever explained how those smoke bombs allow someone to teleport? I've missed Batwoman Ryan, so it was nice to see her again. Unfortunately, my cable kept freezing up and buffering throughout this whole episode. Yes, my cable did that too, which caused me to miss a bunch of dialogue and some parts of scenes. So I have to ask, did they actually explain where Ryan had been? No, they did not. They did not. All I heard was Ryan thanking Iris for finding her, and that was it. On a side note, I love that Ryan has a regular brunch with Kara, Alex, and Mia. Speaking of which, how far away is Gotham from National City? Yes! I guess Kara just flies everyone over for brunch. That was my question, too. Baby West Allen coming soon, but I wish they'd made a bigger deal of that announcement rather than a throwaway line from Keon with no time left for us to see everyone's reactions. I can't help but wonder, though, if Iris is pregnant earlier than expected, does this change Nora's future? Would you like to read Aaliyah? Andy?
Sure.
Thank you.
Hi, all. My name is Aaliyah. Hi, Aaliyah. Nice to meet you. I usually never send an email, but this episode pissed me off so bad, so here I am. I don't even know where to begin with this dumpster fire, but I guess I will start with Red Death. First of all, I want to apologize to Vigia for her time wasted on this crusty, dusty, rusty, musty of a storyline. I kid you not. This is what it says of this crusty, dusty, rusty, musty of a storyline. Red Death could have been a great storyline. However, the writers would have had to know what continuity is. The first 3 episodes felt like filler for one. The second episode was almost absolutely wasted, and we never actually built the Red Death storyline. Poor Division had to basically explain the story in the 4 episodes in her monologue. As writers, it's their job to explain to the audience what's going on. We didn't see not one Red Death flashback. Also, her origins make zero sense, and I mean zero. Red Death becomes Red Death because Gotham was overrun by crime, and she wanted to stop it before it could happen? Question mark. Is that what she said? It sounded more like that the reason she became Red Death was, similar to the comics of like she became obsessed with like other superheroes' powers, started studying them, and then eventually she became a speed.
The comic, the show was her and Barry. It's because I can't remember.
Different philosophies, I guess.
Yeah, I can't quite remember.
Okay, ... Why though? Gotham is like 97% crime-like. It's Gotham. It comes with the territory. Even Bruce had a reason to become Red Dead because Robin died. Like, her reasoning made no sense at all. It was half-baked at best. I would have went down the cliche road and taken out Sophie or someone on the Bat team to be the reason she snapped. Like, that would have made sense. But then again, to be a Flash writer, to be a Flash writer, you can't be logical. Plot hole alert. Where the F was actual Ryan the whole time? She just popped out of nowhere to save Bear from getting folded, then dips? What was the point of writing that she was missing then? I swear writers give each other the last line of the script and then they have to write the next episode based off that. I don't know. I don't think that's how it worked, but fair enough. Rip West Allen again. They deserve better than the reveal because WTF. Why would they have... I'm sorry, Lacy. 3-week-old Elsa dropped the pregnant bomb. Glad it wasn't the... I'm glad it wasn't the seal. But like Elsa... Craig, this is your fault. Craig, if you're still in here, really, it should have been a moment just for Bear and Iris. Speaking of Elsa... Who came up with the idea for her to Snow White that man back to life? How's there about to be a thing? I can't. Like, what were they even cooking with this storyline? Anyways, yays for the 6 Shalegra fans out there. Ooh. I took the
That's overestimating, I think.
I would say most of those fans are just half that's the cast. But
I took the biggest L on this episode with the piss poor West Island announcement and not one wild more crumb. I hate it here. Do you want me to take Libby's as well?
Sure. Libby, hi.
Libby, hi Libby. Hope you're doing well. Okay, actually, I need a little drink. I'll be right back.
Okay, I can do Libby then. Hi, Flash Podcast. I was actually enjoying this episode. It was one of the better big bad endings, and I like that Grodd came back. That's until the very last scene that should have been the icing on the cake, and the moment all West Island fans have been waiting for since season 5. But instead, to have Keown nonchalantly out Iris was so disrespectful to the characters, the ship, and the fans. They didn't even zoom in on Iris and Joe, and the whole party was awkwardly staged and filmed. They might have been trying to mirror the season 4 finale when Nora showed up, but it didn't land. Also, they could have easily jumped ahead 3 months instead of 2 weeks. Biologically speaking, for Nora to still be played by Jessica, she needs to keep the same conception date. It wouldn't matter so much if Barry hadn't revealed it, but now it makes no sense. This just reminds me how bitter I still am about Felicity and Oliver tailgating their wedding. All we needed was a simple moment just for Barry and Iris, then them telling Joe and seeing his reaction becoming a grandfather. Why can't we have nice things? Speaking of Joe, his speech and the talk with Barry were sweet, but Jesse's exit should have been done differently. This just makes Cecile look like an even worse mother than she already is, because she would rather hang at Star Labs and defend her non-existent clients than raise her non-existent daughter. I would rather they just say Joe needs to go out of town for some reason than this, because he clearly is back for the finale. If they only hadn't relegated Joe to the pep talk guy and given him a better arc, instead we focus on all these redundant characters like Keown, Mark, Jaco, Goldface. They're just in scenes to be there, and I feel no connection to them. Other than Danielle, there isn't even a nostalgic reason for them to be there since they're relatively new characters. Also, I hate that Allegra's only storyline this season is her relationship with Chester, and not being a light meta or being a journalist. Honestly, this episode worked as well as it did because of Grant's commitment and because of Javicia's star power. She sold every line, she showed what a powerhouse she is, and when Batwoman came in to save the day, it was so satisfying. I think Red Death would have been more interesting if the writers had given the story more time. Red Death was first mentioned in the future Flash Museum as this villain that killed hundreds of people. It was worth being the big bad for the whole season with rogues in the mix leading up to the big reveal. We could have seen Grodd choose to side with Red Death and then have it revealed why she needed him. Also, showing Ryan kidnapped and tortured by her doppelganger would have added to the stakes. Instead, the story was rushed, and it pretty much ended her reign in the equivalent of a couple of weeks. The show might have something good planned for the back half, but for the sake of better storytelling, we shouldn't have 2 graphic novels in 13 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, it was a deflating episode. I think I get disappointed because I always go into an episode ready to be impressed, and we are impressed by the fact that you do that. So good job on you, Levy. And hopefully now that Iris is pregnant and we are coming to the tail end, we can focus on what matters most. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, thank you all for your emails and your tweets and your comments. Yeah, I think we were all kind of unanimous in this episode. So let's go for some live comments quickly, and I'm going to go to bed. First of all, from Craig, Joe seemed to say he was leaving more times than Clara tried to leave on Doctor Who.
Oh, that is a burn.
We get it. You got a job on the real network. Move on already. His words, CW, not mine. Grail says, I think Chalegre Medicine is the best name. Let's see. This episode seemed to have broke something in everyone's minds. This was, and that will happen. There will be episodes where an entire fandom will just not connect with it, and it's Liv, not only a mother on the weekends element. Hi, Mads. Good to see you. No worries. We're happy you're here. No matter what.
Better late than never.
Why did that Shalea kids get more attention from everyone at the party than Iris' pregnancy? Because they hate Bear and Iris. Cypher Jean goes, still hoping for excess impulse spin-off, but it seems doubtful now. Well, on the CW, anything is doubtful now. What if Lacy, would you like to read Craig's comment? I don't even want to say these words.
Craig's comment is, what if Keown helps deliver baby Nora? I'm sorry, that is not the nightmare scenario. The nightmare scenario is if there's something wrong with the baby and Keown heals Nora. There you go. I've just made that thought that you have in their head. There's a lower place, people.
Yeah. I can tell you, Keon is not involved. I can tell you that Keon is not involved with delivering said child. Jordan Electra goes. Jordan Fisher was busy playing even Hansen on Broadway for a bit. See, I don't know if that was happening this season though. I thought
That's
that was
actually
like,
really cool of him. I didn't realize that he was there to save Dear Evan Hansen. I respect that.
Mindy Gab says it sounds rough, but sometimes it is necessary to write off characters if they use up their purpose.
True.
Fangold 2019 says Cecile is in the same age bracket as Joe/Cream, but she's leagues behind them. Yeah, I think Cecile thinks that she's still in her 20s. It's like, yeah, I can just hang around with all these kids. Electra goes, Cecile is way overpowered at this point. It's not just that she's overpowered. I don't get her powers. Like when I had to I had to explain to someone who's now like he's catching up on the show. It's like, so wait, so
Mad said Jordan Fisher's in Sweeney Todd right now. That's so fabulous.
Oh, there we go. Let's see. Wow. Fangle 2019 says, in my head, Joe has someone else on the side.
He does.
It's
Kramer.
It's established.
Kramer.
Yeah, even though Cody was just like, Eric, she's not gonna cheat on Cecile with Kramer, and Eric's like, no, that's not happening. But
then he gave a wink. He gave a wink like it's happening. Actually,
where was I?
I'm now spreading lies about Eric.
Where was I? Yeah, Fangle
defamation.
Yeah, it's a Fangle 2019 says Joe and Cecile's story was a proper Cecile hero story, and we don't need her as a hero. The show's called The Flash. Fangle 2019 says at least Joe hugged Iris, bar in hell. Yeah, I think they've had a hug, but no dialogue together. Liv goes, and now poor Lacy is catching strays for Keo non-spoiler warning as shaking my head.
Hearts live. Thank you. Just out here in these streets trying to live as a Caitlyn fan. They hate me.
Yeah, you like to love women who lie to her team, steal mirror guns.
I do, actually. I love liars.
Lacy supports women's rights and women's wrongs.
I do, actually. I fully support women's wrongs.
Electra goes, sometimes I get the feeling that the Flash TV show doesn't actually want to be about the Flash. Valid. Minor Gap goes, twins? No, I don't think we're getting twins. Toddy has been begging for this for years, but I just accept that it's not going to happen. So the not tornado twins is what's happening. Now, wait a minute.
The tornado not twins.
The conception date changing just saying, could mean twins.
True, it could. And because what's the point? I guess I get it. Like they're like, oh, see, the future isn't set in stone. Okay, cool. But
doesn't that erase Nora and Bart from the timeline? Like, do they
it erases the version that we met.
Yeah, it erases that version. Yeah.
But to be fair, that version was always going to be erased because you can never have that exact same life. So, it is what it is.
Yes.
And Iris said that. She said, fuck them kids. Because she was the one that wanted to change her life.
Okay, y'all.
I'm sorry.
Y'all. Ease on the F-bombs.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop talking about it before I accidentally spoil something I'm not supposed to spoil. Fangirl 2019, worst baby announcement in the Arrowverse. Sarah and Ava, Aunt Felicity, all better than that nonsense. Yeah, the intimate moment in the Arrowverse is it's something. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, y'all went on to talk about Crisis for a long time in the show. I don't know what y'all got into, but
they were trying to figure out when Kara and Ryan met, because Ryan and Kara have the standing brunch.
Oh,
technically on screen, Kara and Ryan have not met.
Yeah, it must have been I think it was within the Earth Prime comic or something, or yes, because
TV they haven't. Kara only met Kate. She never met Ryan.
Yeah. Curtis says, on its own, the episode is fine, but as an end to the arc, it just sucks. Why set up a dozen questions about Red Dead, then not just answer any of them at all?
That's a great question.
I
will not get answered.
Craig goes, Iris hates her children as much as the seal hates him. Craig, you're gonna give me.
Iris learned from her stepmother.
It's not even her stepmother. They have Joe and Cecile haven't gotten married yet.
You're right.
Oh my god! Everyone's like, time to rename the show to the Seal. Oh, I will let Craig explain that one so that I don't get in trouble. Kazi says, I love Ryan, but they said this intriguing question about Ryan missing, but then quickly abandoned for some reason. On that, Ryan played little to nothing in the arc itself. Why use her at all then? Like, he would have, like, you know what they could have done? I have a simple solution. If she and Kara were already, like, buddy buddies, why can't they say that they were off planet? And then she came back, heard it. Oh, there's a doppelganger of me. Oh, there you go. Daryl says, in the Earth Prime comic, Lena and Ryan met, so why isn't she part of the brunch group? I don't know if Lena is the group chatty type of person. Or maybe she's one of those people who's like, I don't believe in brunches. I think it's either breakfast or lunch, not both together. So,
No,
imagine...
I am so sorry. Lena would absolutely be about a bottomless
I know.
brunch.
No, I had a punchline to that. Imagine someone put that joke in a DC movie. If you know, you know. Yeah, I think this episode was sadly, it was a bit of a letdown. So let's hope from here that things will get better. But we thank everyone for coming tonight to chat about episode 5 of season 9. Next week we have episode 6, and then there's a 1 week break, and then we get into episode 7 on the 29th. But first of all, Vanessa, you have been so much fun to have on. I may have to kidnap you for one more episode this season, because you're always
about certain someone.
I mean, listen, I've told these women on this podcast that if Reverse Flash is involved in an episode, Vanessa is someone I will try and get. We know we know Tom Cavanaugh is coming back. It's just
That lecture is as well.
I hope they get to meet, hang out.
2 Reverse Flashes, one something other than a cup.
Yeah, I've been sitting. I've been.
I was gonna say something way dirtier. So
yes, I don't want to get. Yes, we agree. We love Vanessa, says Liv. Craig says Vanessa is a Ming. Where did you get that? Like, is it custom made?
No, I just ordered offline and I cropped it myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's actually the shirt I wore when I met Tom Cavanaugh at Comic-Con in 2019.
Yes. Oh my God. You need to post that photograph. I think people. I don't think everyone has seen that. I never found Reverse Flash merch. Like, I never found it.
I was like, I need it. Well, actually, no. What did I may probably found this on Amazon or something. But yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, Vanessa, where can people find you on social media, and tell them about all your other projects and podcasts that you do?
You can find me at Vanessa Shark on everything. I'm host of the DC Studios podcast at DC Studio Podcast, as well as Lituation Room, at Lit Room _podcast. Yes, I got it right. I never remember the at names, but I got it right that time. You can catch me there talking about random stuff, DC stuff, things related to Black culture. And I also have a website, vanessashark.com, where I sometimes occasionally talk about my baby. And that's it for me.
Yeah, she's the boss queen of the studio podcast, and she's gonna be busy for the next couple of years. You have lots of shows and movies coming up. So, David Zaslav, don't take any more from us. Taking enough. Wow. The one time Breeze isn't here, and I accidentally say her name. Okay.
Disrespect.
Lacy, where are you on social media and all your other projects?
I am at Breeze Riley. JK, I am at Lacy MB on virtually every social media platform that there is, because I keep trying out all the ones that are supposed to replace Twitter, and they keep not being good. So someone get billions of dollars and make a good one that frees me from Elon the end. I also co-host another podcast called Televisions, which is about British TV and entertainment. And that is me on the interwebs.
Did you mention Den of Geek?
Oh, right. I am on the Flash beat at Den of Geek this season, in addition to the Star Trek beat. So come read all of my interviews and reviews and give a girl some clicks.
Dear Mike, Lacy forgot to plug Den of Geek tonight. I don't think you should bring her up. Mike Shashini, if you're listening, we need to have you come on for an episode. You promised me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you promised me. Yeah, so go. You can check out Lacy's interview with Javisha on Den of Geek. Yeah, Toddy. Speaking of interviews, because Toddy does interviews every day and every hour. It feels like tell
Every
them
hour
where,
of every day. So true. Yes.
every
I spend
hour, every minute. Where can we find you on
beautiful.
social
That was very
media?
beautiful.
Thank you.
I spend 20 out of 24 hours on screenrant.com editing interviews, transcribing interviews, doing interviews, etc. And then if I am not doing that, I am on this podcast or I am on Ladies with Gumption, which is where we talk about GCTV Ladies with Gumption, who are going to be no more. So now it will just be ladies in anything that have gumption.
I mean,
and
there's
if
still
I'm
ladies in DC still you can talk about, like
sure, it just won't be TV. And then it will be sleeping. If I'm not doing those things, I'll be sleeping. So you can find me at Marcella Zier on Twitter, on Instagram. But like, why would you find me on Instagram? So, I mean, maybe when Lacy finds the right social media platform, she can let me know, and then I'll join that one because I don't know the social medias. Thank you all, and good night.
I think we should just buy Twitter. You know, next time, why couldn't you just buy Twitter? For God's sake. You can find me at Andybite on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Vero, and TikTok. I finally gave in. All Andybite. You can also find me as a host on Endless Multiverse here on youtube.com. That's Chainsaw Reacts. I'm also the editor-in-chief of Multiverse of Colorway. We have a, you know, I don't even have to say it. We have a nice picture right here. If Andy knows how to did I no, here we go. Here we go. Look at it. Oh, Julian Bell, my boy, my man who made this logo. And Multiverse of Color. We have lots of content coming up. And DC Podcast is being folded into Multiverse of Color. So there will be some technical changes soon.
It's much like when Twitter was folded into Elon Musk's ego. Sorry, just kidding.
I'm trying not to giggle, but yeah, you can also find me over at Screen Rant, writing tons of news, doing interviews, and there will be interviews coming up on the Flash podcast the next coming days from Gotham Knights. We including a little scoop that broke today from Misha Collins that oh no, I need to stop looking at Twitter. I will show you all later. How Jensen Ackles was almost our Batman on Gotham Knights. The one casting everyone was begging for and we didn't get. And yeah, just check my bio on Twitter. You can find all my other stuff. But also a special thank you to Mr. Javisha Leslie for that amazing soundbite. Now we have her welcoming you all to the Flash podcast whenever we play it. So, but with that said, we're going to do some plugs and then we're getting the hell out of here if I can find these damn plugs.
To find exclusive content and new episodes from the Flash Podcast, visit theflashpodcast.com. There you'll also find the latest info about the Flash TV show, movie, and comics.
TFP never strays far, so please find the Flash Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you should ever need us. And we need you to send us listener feedback on any of those platforms after each episode of The Flash. You can send your feels sporadically or wait for the graphic that appears every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, begging you to leave us your comments so we know you love us. XOXO, Gossip Flash.
Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to the Flash Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen to your podcasts. Want to support the Flash Podcast? Leave a review and 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, which helps more Apple Podcast users find the show.
Enjoy what we're doing? Then you should check out the entire DCTV Podcast Network at dctvpodcast.com, where we have amazing shows for The Flash, Superman Lois, all of the ongoing and upcoming DC shows on HBO Max, the upcoming DC Studios movies, The Sandman, as well as DCTV After Dark and lots of other fantastic podcasts, all available at dctvpodcast.com. You can follow the network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram simply at DCTV Podcast. Last but not least, be sure to subscribe to the network's mega feed on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere else you listen to podcasts.
DCTV Podcast has its own TeePublic store where you can get all sorts of fabulous Arrowverse and DCTV merchandise to broadcast your fandom in the real world. Click on the link in the show notes to start shopping and help support the network so we can keep making all these great shows. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/DCTV Podcasts and ring the notification bell for up-to-the-minute news about live broadcasts, exclusive interviews, special clips, and lots more.
And because we can never get enough of your beautiful words, you can also email The Flash Podcast at theflashpodcast@gmail.com anytime you want. Use it for longer listener feedback, questions about The Flash and DCTV, miscellaneous thoughts, or fanfic recommendations. We read every email, so don't worry, no Flash fan left behind.
I love our plugs. I'm realizing that at some point I gotta up them again. But yeah, we'll be back next week for episode 6. But again, once again, Vanessa, thank you as always for coming on. I will try to kidnap you for at least one more episode, at least especially for your boy, your man, your true negative avatar, the true avatar of negative Speed Force, or avatar. That's like a funny term. But for everyone who tuned in tonight, thank you so much. I know this was a very frustrating episode, but it's we did it together. We went through it together,
and I'm so proud.
See, when Todd is proud of you, that means cookies for everyone.
Exactly, that's what that means.
Yes. And free and for 30 minutes subscription, 30 days subscriptions to any K-drama streaming site that you want. That was my segue for you to plug a K-drama.
Oh, thank you. I don't have another playground. You know what? If you want to watch a girl who is a hater and a man who is very depressed, then you should watch Call It Love. I think it's on Netflix, maybe.
Oh, I thought the two terms were the name of the show.
No. She's a hater. She wants revenge on him because her dad left her family and married his mom and then took all their money and now has kicked them out of their house. And so she's like, I'm going to get my revenge. And he's like, I'm really sad about everything. So it's not really much revenge you can get. And I guess they're going to fall in love. Can't wait to see what happens next.
We will see. Well, everyone, thank you so much. Have a great night. Until next time, I'm Andy B.
I'm Tatiana.
And I'm Lacy.
I'm Vanessa. Bye.
And we will see you next time on the Flash Podcast. Good night, everybody.
Good night.